Contrary to popular belief, what's not a bad thing? Being single, and being okay with being single, and not constantly looking for a relationship. Not knowing something. It's not shameful to admit it. Curious children. That's like the best thing for a child to be because they want to learn the facts and form their own opinions. But parents act as if they are like inappropriate or annoying. Curiosity in general, not just in children, is looked down upon, I think. Political leaders admitting they are wrong and doing a U-turn. I agree. Though it seems that political leaders that admit are wrong or change position tend not to be political leaders for long. Because they lose party support and political cachet. That's a shortcoming of the electorate. What's not a bad thing? Being a voter and acknowledging your elected representatives can make mistakes, and that shouldn't necessarily mean they are unable to do their job. That said, certain mistakes are politically unforgivable. Asking for help. Not being into social media doesn't mean you are behind the times. It's a choice. Something about people not knowing everything about me and what I'm doing in my life is very peaceful to me. Saying no when someone asks you to do something that they are entirely capable of doing. My neighbor just called me to come fix her guest bed. She has a house full of relatives from California in, and I really don't feel like exposing myself to whatever might be in that house. Plus, why can't one of them fix the damn bed? I said I was busy, but I might be able to do it later. I'm on the fence about this. Follow up. Thanks for all the comments. I ended up telling my neighbor that I wasn't feeling too great and that I'd hate to bring something over to her and her guests. I asked for more information about the bed. It is apparently sagging in the middle. I told her to get her nephew to put a block of some kind underneath the bed and to let me know if that doesn't fix the problem. Don't do it. Disappointing your parents or friends by your life decisions. Usually, they come around in time when they see what you chose is what makes you happy and that is what they really wanted in the end anyway. It can be an uncomfortable wait until that time comes, but it is shorter and feels better than a lifetime of regret. Somebody who changes their beliefs. Know better. Do better. Right? There's a lot of things I used to believe or think when I was younger and more sheltered than I currently think. Age and experience change perceptions and I think that's healthy in most cases. I've heard a bunch of people spouting off recycling isn't worth it. It is even worse for the environment than just throwing it away. Apostrophe. This is case of hearing something correct and just blanket applying it to everything. There are certain things that are undeniably better to recycle. Specifically metals. And for glass and paper there are ways to make it environmentally positive. Plastics are the hardest due to contamination. But we can make it better as well as reduce single-use plastics. Yes, corporations tricked us into believing recycling was the key to fixing the environment. But that doesn't mean that recycling can't be useful. Gaming for a couple, edit, few hours straight. If you enjoy doing it and don't neglect your life, there really is no difference to binge watching something or reading a book. I never realized how cool video games are until I started dating my BF. He mostly plays story-driven games and they're really fun to watch. Feel like interactive movies. Defending yourself against a customer who is extremely rude. I didn't know until about a week ago that the saying the customer is always right is actually supposed to be the customer is always right in matters of taste. If you have a customer that is a duck, it is plenty okay to tell them to duck off. You don't want them as a customer anyways. I just started firing customers from my business a couple years ago, and what I know, firing those 5 to 10 customers has made me enjoy my job immensely more. Using a credit card. If you're sensible and ensure it's paid off at the end of every month. There are many perks. Cashback, air miles etc. I'll take things I didn't want to learn or accept until I was $500. Alex. Failure. I worked for a white-collar criminal defense firm for many years. Many of our clients would have saved themselves from criminal charges merely by letting their businesses fail. I believe that knowing how to fail should be taught as part of MBA programs. That's the prologue to Fargo. MSG. That's it. I was going to say this. I'm so tired of hearing how it's so bad. It's not. And people eat it all the time. It's not like it's only in Chinese food. Being basic in the sense that you have likes and hobbies similar to a group of people. Disliking your family. If your family always have been a bunch of assholes to you, what is the sense of even having respect for them? This one hits me for maximum damage. Glad to hear I'm not alone. Me 3. Toxic is toxic and I'm not having it. Giving up. Sometimes giving up is the best thing you can do. Gotta know when to hold M and when to fold M. Being alone. It's far less stressful than having other people around. I wish I was like this, but for me being alone for too long leads me to feeling lonely, depressed and unfulfilled. Being ordinary. Breaking tradition. It's important to question why we do things and not just go along with it because it's been like that for years. Peer pressure from dead people. Receiving a very small tax return. It means you estimated your deductions correctly and you didn't overpay on your taxes. Wikipedia. People who discredit Wikipedias because their high school teacher said it's not good are really simple. Being frugal, to a point. I think being able to control spending habits, save money, and being able to assess what items are necessary vs excessive in one's life is often overlooked in a consumerist society. Until this year, I was using my iPhone 4 happily. Friends and family would constantly make jokes about my ancient phone and how I'm just too cheap to buy a new one. The truth was that it was still working fine and fulfilling all the needs I had for a phone. So why spend money to replace something that is still working? Note, I'm not advocating for the extremes of this like my previous roommate who refused to turn on our account or heating. It once read 51 degrees F on our thermostat during December. Not being super ambitious about your work/career. My job is a means to an end. I enjoy it sometimes, but at the end of the day it's not something I enjoy doing in my free time. It's just something that has a good wage and I don't mind doing it. This is me. I don't love it, but it's a very short commute, a decent wage, and I work my shifts over 4 days so have a 3-day weekend every week. I could leave for more money elsewhere, but the benefits of time are more important to me. According to someone close to me, not having an opinion about something important to them is being rude and inconsiderate. I just think that I don't care about what they care about. It isn't important or offensive to me, so I don't care about it one bit. I'm not sure how to categorize this, but this bugs me about people. Death isn't always a bad thing. There's a lot of people who suffer with degenerative illnesses or are in extreme pain every day of their lives. I saw this happen to my granddad after he had a brain tumor. By the end it was for the best that he passed away. Obviously untimely deaths are sad, but sometimes you need to accept that being alive and truly living are two different things. Small boobs or medium boobs. Literally no boobs are bad. Are you ashamed of your small boobs? Don't be. Are you a man ashamed of his man boobs? Don't be. Are you ashamed of someone else's boobs? Knock it off. Boobs are great. Boobs make the world go round. Give this man boobs. Give this man boobs. Being bad at the thing you spend hours doing. I mean, you can always just do it for fun without actually wanting to improve. Be it art, video games or singing. Crying. Holding it can cause way more harm than do it. Getting a full night's sleep every night and also having a good work/life balance. The two thing not being entirely unconnected. I would say that getting efficient and good sleep, enough REM and deep sleep every night is essential to being able to work more and do more things. Just like diet is essential, your mind is just biological as well. Its health and resistance to stress and fortitude can be increased by your body being more resilient and stronger as well. Not wanting to have kids. Introducing an entire human life into the world where it heavily depends on you physically, emotionally, and financially for over a decade is a huge deal that people should absolutely put a lot of thought into. Yet many people do it simply because that's just what you do, and babies are cute. And then they're constantly complaining about how it's suddenly hard being a parent. Parenthood isn't for everyone. It's a huge decision. People should treat it as such instead of acting like it's a trend. I wish society would quit looking down on those who choose to live a more quiet and stable life instead. GMO in food. Without GMOs, corn wouldn't be edible. Watermelons would have way less flesh. Bananas would be vastly different. If you hate artificial banana flavor, you'd hate OG bananas. Certain crops would yield far less and would much more susceptible to disease. Livestock would be far more expensive and less available. This could actually be a really good thing in reality. But at the time, meat being readily available was a huge game changer. Nuclear power. Rain. Being a virgin. Just because nobody has shoved themselves inside you, or you haven't shoved yourself inside someone else, doesn't mean you're worth any less as a person. Not liking animals. And this is coming from an animal lover. Some people just don't like them for various reasons, and so long as they don't mistreat them, they aren't monsters. Using violence to defend yourself or others. It's sad that it comes to that, but if someone is hell-bent on causing you harm, and your only choice is to use violence to stop them, it's not bad. Applying for unemployment or food assistance. Looking out for your mental and physical health first. Grown men caring about kids. Want to continue to keep the burden of childbearing on women? Keep telling men they are creepy for taking their kids to the park or babysitting their nephews/nieces. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you enjoyed watching this video, leave your thoughts in the comments below.